Friday, March 19th is St. Joseph's Day, and in the Archdiocese of Hartford, we're doing it big this year. After all, we are in the year of St. Joseph, as proclaimed by Pope Francis just a few short weeks ago. There's going to be a holy hour celebrated by Archbishop Blair in the Cathedral of St. Joseph, which will be live streamed here on Facebook, and we've also asked men, women, and children to do works of mercy on this day. Now, St. Joseph's Day is also of particular significance to Italian American Catholics here in Connecticut. They mark this day by eating a special pastry called a Zeppole. These pastries are usually only made in the second half of Lent, and they're eaten by Italian American Catholics in tribute to St. Joseph. Why do they do this? What is a Zeppole? Well, I'm here at Milani's Italian Bakery in Northford to find out. So let's go learn together.
Dough is like a pate choux,
which in English would be a choux pastry.
Yeah, it's like a puff pastry, dough probably, because that's what it is. You turn it in a fry, which is really, really hard to handle. It could be a lot of different explosion when you put a fry. That's the product in the beginning. That's probably the Zeppole. We make it a Zeppole. The Sphinx is a little bit different, more close, but it's the same exactly thing, You flip right inside.
And these will grow, they'll pop up.
And they start to fry. That's it. This is called zippo in Italian, and then you zip because you turn on the other side, and that's why they call zippo. Zippola. See? You turn and you sweep. It's almost like a donut. Traditionally, at least even in Naples, the tradition filling is the vanilla cream. Then here they make it with ricotta. I think in Sicily they make it with ricotta, that's probably why. And chocolate, but mostly the traditional one is vanilla cream. That's what it's born. And the cream that we making I make it for 45 years, since my father, my godfather used to make it the same one. So I've been in business for a long time, so that's the same exactly cream that we used to make it 45 years ago.
And it's all made with fresh eggs, fresh milk. There's no preservatives whatsoever.
By hands.
It's all mixed by hands.
I think you can combine the Zeppole with Father's Day. That's the day in Italy we have Father's Day, March 19th. They always been combined with the Zeppole because I think it's the desserts they used to do for Father's Day at the time. They born probably with Christ, and the Father Christ, which is Saint Joseph. And then we keep on going for every year now, a tradition like that. And then people like it. People waiting for this thing coming out.
I think without tradition, we lose who we are.
That's right.
In the past, and we can't progress forward because in order for us to progress as a society and just as a person in general, we build off of what we know, what we've learned from our traditions, whether it's your grandparents or great-great-grandparents. It's important to keep these traditions going for the future generation.
Well, it certainly was a lot of fun getting to meet Emilio and Tullio down at Milani's Bakery in Northford. And now we're going to head up to St. Francis de Sales Parish in Bristol. I contacted one of my childhood pastors, Father Alphonse Fontana, to see if he could give us any answers to our spiritual questions about these kinds of tributes. So I'll see you when we get there.
Well, first, I'm Italian on both sides. My parents are Sicilian, I'm Sicilian, and we like to celebrate things. And San Giuseppe, the Feast of St. Joseph, is very dear to our hearts. I know this is a season of restraint, the season of Lent, but we Sicilians like to celebrate. So on St. Joseph's Day, we like to have our Zeppoles. It's a beautiful tradition to celebrate the Feast of St. Joseph.
And Sicilians certainly have cause to celebrate St. Joseph. One of the origin stories for the Zeppole tradition takes us back to the Middle Ages, when Sicily was experiencing a terrible drought and accompanying starvation. So, Sicilians began fervently praying to St. Joseph to end the drought, and promised to host a great feast in his honor if their prayers were answered. The rains came bearing fava beans, and the Sicilians held up their end of the bargain, and eventually the fava bean tradition gave way to Zeppole. Because, why not?
Well, we believe that in God's providence, He saved the people in Sicily from starvation in the Middle Ages, and they grew the fava beans, and the fava beans are great. We love how they taste in minestrone soup, but the Zeppoles are a sweet for us. It's something we love to celebrate. We celebrate the saints because they intercede for us, and St. Joseph interceded, and thus we had a great crop there to save us. And so we celebrate St. Joseph's Day by eating these wonderful pastries. St. Joseph provides a great example for us. You know, we don't hear anything from him, we don't have any words from him, but we know he was there, his presence was there. And so he's a great manly figure, and he's a great patron saint for fathers today. I always suggest to the men in the crowd that they pray to St. Joseph. They pray to him to be good fathers, just like he was.
So there you have it. A little bit of culture, some history, and some truly mouth-watering desserts. Thank you to the Milani family for giving us the behind-the-scenes look at how they create their works of art. And thanks also to Father Fontana for providing some spiritual context for this tradition. Now, however you decide to celebrate St. Joseph's Day, whether it's like the Sicilians from centuries ago with a big feast, or maybe with a Zeppole like many Italians around the state, or perhaps by participating in our holy hour or offering special prayers, let's not forget the reason why we do these things and in whose honor they are. St. Joseph, one of the all-time ultimate examples of fatherly virtue and spousal love. Now, whatever traditions you subscribe to, keep them alive, not just for their own sake, but for the sake of your entire faith community. Oftentimes, these types of traditions lead to great communal veneration, and just like the Sicilians' prayers were answered, so too may yours.